Car chats. Welcome back to Car Chats FM with Amy and Anna.
I'm Amy.
And I'm Anna. And
Yay.
we're once again remote. God damn it. It makes the Car Chat so much harder. You can find us on TikTok, Instagram, and Threads at Car Chats F1. And if you'd like to support the pod, get your episodes early, and get a little bit of bonus content, then you can go to patreon.com/carchatsf1.
Woo!
Well, I mean, I guess this is like the unofficial start to season 2.
I suppose. We started when? Like May last year?
June, I think, was our first pod.
Yeah, so we didn't start at the start of the season anyway, but...
Yeah. And then we kept going through winter break when nobody else was. We've done things like the complete, like
there is no beginning and no end.
There is only Car Chats F1.
Yeah.
I thought, I guess we jump on today to give a bit of our predictions for the upcoming season. How have you been finding this week of car launches?
I haven't even been keeping up with it at all because they've all been so boring this year. Last year, all of them were like streamed on Sky Sports and stuff, but
this year
nothing. This year,
half of them have just been doing like half of them haven't even streamed, and you're like, and they're all revealing their carbon fiber black cars. Great. We need more interest in F1. We need the 2024 season to be like more intrigue, more interest, and they're like, black cars, no car launches, carbon fiber.
Yeah. I mean, Ferrari's wasn't completely carbon fiber.
Hooray! That was today, wasn't it?
Hooray! It was indeed.
Oh my god, the Ferrari, the pictures that they've been releasing.
Charles has just rolled out of bed.
It's the one where he's just looks like he's rolled out of bed, and the things that I've seen people say about that have absolutely killed me. Someone saying, when you see the racing suits first, and it's him all smiley in that really cute picture, and then when you see the fireproofs, they dragged him straight out of bed, put a shirt on him, and clicked the photo. The guy didn't even brush his hair.
Yeah.
Never seen a happier man. Go on, girl, give us nothing. A smile might be good. Nothing to smile about in my life. If you guys haven't seen it, they literally, oh my god, poor Charles Leclerc. He must have been so tired on that day. Because, like, Puma put out a video as well of, like, behind the scenes. Have you seen that? Of, like, him being like, guys, we're on set doing the, like, Puma.
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh, he's like, guys, we're on set doing, like, the launch of the Puma kit for this year. And my guy looks like he hasn't slept in 3 days. He genuinely is. He's like, I'm so excited. And, like, his hair is just like, he's like, yeah.
In the words of the British, he was hanging, probably.
Yeah, he was probably hanging.
Hanging.
He's probably hanging. But he genuinely, oh my god. And I'm not surprised. He probably had to drown his sorrows after seeing those fireproofs.
A 3-day bender.
Oh my god. As long as he doesn't do the same after he sees the SF24 today, after he goes on track, then. But my god, the video of him with the fireproofs, I've sent it to you on Twitter.
Right, here we go.
Oh, this I love.
This I like.
Ooh, that is very different.
This I love. Ooh, that is very different.
He just like couldn't hold it in. He was literally like, that fireproof is very different. And you're like, I just can't believe they kept it in. Like, the social media person was like, oh, I mean, he said words about it, so keep it in. What do you think of the Ferrari race suits?
Yeah, I quite like them. I mean,
yeah,
they're very different.
They're very different. I like the race suits. I like the yellow. I think like the way that the lines are makes them look like really broad on their their arms and on their chest.
I know what you mean.
I don't like the fireproofs. I will outwardly say I don't like them. which is sad.
Mm.
They're trying to de-influence fireproofs. They really... They were like, they saw all the edits of when like Charles is like lifting up his fireproofs and stuff to have his back like deep-heated or whatever before races. They saw that and they were like, no more. Actually, we're going to make the fireproofs so damn ugly that you're not going to be able to put them in an edit. But yeah, it's been interesting. Like we said last week, we've just been like seeing the car be revealed and being like, ooh, carbon fiber, and then waiting for the technical coverage of what it actually means.
Yeah, I mean, car reveals are usually just basically livery reveals until you see testing, so...
That'll be interesting. It's coming so close now.
Yeah, when is it? Next?
Not this
Yeah,
week,
I
the
think-
weekend after.
Yeah, I think so.
But every single time that we send each other those cinematic edits on TikTok, I literally get like bubbles in my stomach. So excited. I forget how much I love it until I see those and I'm like, oh, nearly back.
We're nearly there. We nearly made it.
Nearly made it. And as we've nearly made it, should we do some predictions?
Sure.
Well, first of all, should we review yours from last year?
Yes, let's do it. I can't remember many of them.
These are my out-of-pocket 2023 F1 predictions with no context. Firstly, Daniel will replace Checo at some point in the season.
Ooh,
Next,
close.
De Vries.
Will you thought you'd replace Checo?
I was close.
You were close.
Will place 6 places higher than Sonoda in the drive.
No.
Oh,
My boy! You
unfortunately.
abandoned my child!
Oh, no.
Anyway.
Places higher than Sonoda in the Drivers' Championship. And both McLarens will finish in the top 10 in the Drivers.
Yes!
In the Constructors,
Yes!
Both
Get
the cars finished top
in!
10. Lando
Yeah.
finished top 10. Where did Oscar finish?
9th.
Oh my gosh, yes, you were right. Okay, what's this one?
top 10 in the Drivers. In the Constructors, Alpine will finish 4th. And
In the constructors, you thought Alpine would finish fourth.
No, they finished like 5th or 6th, didn't they?
Yeah, they finished 6th. McLaren
They got
fourth.
4th the year before, though.
finally, Alonso will retire midway through the season.
Oh!
Oh.
Why did you think
He
that?
said he heard me and he thought that's not happening.
Gotta prove that bitch wrong.
Yeah.
Why did you
He
think
saw that
Alonso was
TikTok
gonna
and was like,
retire?
You have to remember at the end of 2022, he was at Alpine.
That is very true. When you made that TikTok, he was still at Alpine, and he had already retired once by this
Yeah.
point.
You were like, bitch, why do you think he's gonna retire? He's at the top of his game. And I'm like, he literally was at Alpine.
I know it's so easy now to be like, why would Alonso retire? Like, he was on the podium so many times. And you're like, wait, that was a surprise. I forgot.
Yeah. I can't remember when he announced he was going to Aston. I mean, when he was in Abu Dhabi, he was talking about his last race at Alpine. So I knew that he was going to Aston. But it was one of those where everyone was like, everyone goes to Aston to end their career. Like, look at Sebastian Vettel. He retired from Aston. Like it was stuff like that. So I was like, yeah, he's just going to give up on Aston halfway through the year. And they were like, you thought, bitch, you thought.
Bitch,
we
you
made a good
thought."
car this year.
They
Not
were
anymore,
like-
though, but you know.
Yeah. I mean, those are some pretty good predictions. Like, I feel
Thank
like
you.
that's solid. You had a good 2 out of 5, 2 out of 6 or something. Should we try and do our predictions for this upcoming
Sure.
2024 season? This is pre-season testing. Just in case you're listening to this in the future, we have no idea what the cars are going. All I know is that a few cars have changed to push-rod suspension in the front. That's all I know is what the race YouTube channel has told me. And that's it. So
So basically, all of our predictions are just feelings.
they're just feelings. We love a feeling.
Sure, should we start with the drivers in reverse order?
Ooh, what, 3rd to 1st or 20th?
20th?
Have you ranked all 20?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I've not prepared anything. I will have to do this off the dome. Okay, so 20th then. Oh, this is actually quite hard. I'm gonna put Magnussen.
I went Logan Sargent 20th.
I was gonna say not Logan. So I was gonna say Logan 19th. The only reason I put Magnussen as 20th is because I just didn't want to put Logan as 20th. But I'm sorry, Magnussen. That was just completely out of pocket.
If there's any consolation, Magnussen, I've put you 19th.
We have like no reason to do that. This is like when we were at
He
Williams.
came 19th last year, didn't he?
No, he came. Oh no, he did. Oop. Well, it's like when we were at Williams. I was like, Magnussen's gonna put it in the wall, and he did. And I was like, why do I feel bad? As if I like just made that happen.
You predicted it.
18th. I just don't trust that Haas is gonna have a good car, but Hulkenberg does tend to like qualify pretty well. So I don't know if Zhou's gonna get off the ground this year. So I'm gonna put Zhou as 18th.
I put Zhou as 18th as well.
Oh, snap. 17th, I'm going to put Hulkenberg then, because I think Haas are just, yeah.
Fair enough. 17th, I went Valtteri Bottas.
Oh.
Mainly just because I agree with the Nico being good at qualifying thing, and so he tends to start further ahead and thus finish further ahead than other people,
Yeah.
basically.
That's what I was thinking about Nico.
So,
but it's,
yeah.
you're just like that green car ain't going nowhere, but Zhou and Bottas down the bottom. I'd reverse it then. I put Bottas 16th.
Cool. And I went Hulkenberg 16th as well.
I really think that Visa Cash App Racing Bulls are going to have a decent car, because we know that they've taken basically as much as of the RB19 as they are allowed to, because they've changed like the whole like front suspension and all that as well. So I don't want to put Tsunoda down there, so I'm going to say Alpine are going to have a stinker, and I'm going to put Ocon.
Interesting.
Who have you put?
Because you're not going to like me with this one, because I put Alex Albon 15th.
No. Why?
Because I think Daniel was in 15th, but if we remember, he only did about 6 races.
Yeah.
So over the course of a season, I think he's definitely going to outscore him. And then I think the RB car is going to be fairly good. So that's why I didn't put Daniel or Yuki down there. And I just don't think Esteban or Pierre would also score that low.
Yeah, because Ocon, I know he podiumed last year, but I don't know how the Alpine's looking. People say that it's quite slow. So, I'll put him down there. And then I would put possibly Albon then.
Prove us wrong. In 14th, I put Daniel Ricciardo.
Scoring below Yuki.
Yeah, I think he would score lower than Yuki, but I mean,
yeah,
I guess we'll see.
Who knows? I would put Yuki next in 13th.
Yeah, I put Yuki in 13th as well. I think their car's gonna be alright, but I don't think it's gonna be like contending for the top 3 kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think Yuki and Daniel are actually kind of evenly matched. I know people won't agree with me on that, but
I'm interested to see how they do over the course of the season. Like, to actually see a fair comparison. And then in 12th, I'll put Stroll.
Yeah, I put Stroll as well. I just don't think the Aston's going to be as good as it started last year. And we saw that they just don't know how to do upgrades throughout the season, clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I just don't think they're going to start as strong this year.
No. And then I would put just above him, I would then put Gasly.
Okay.
Just because, again, like I said, I feel like the Alpine doesn't have much pace. I'm welcome to be proved wrong.
In 11th, I put Esteban, just because I think the Alpine is going to be probably around 5th place or 6th place, so hence they're in the middle of the pack.
Yeah. So what are we at now? 10th? Top 10?
10th.
Oh, I forgot I haven't done Danny Rick yet. I'll put him a 10. I just forgot. So there we are, he's top 10.
And then my 10th is Pierre Gasly. Esteban and Pierre are another driver pairing that are quite evenly
Evenly
matched.
matched.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting. I guess now we're getting to the top 9. See, now I really am gonna struggle to place them. I'm gonna put Alonso because I'm skeptical about the Aston Martin car.
Yeah, I put Alonso there as well. I just don't think he's gonna, over the course of a season, outscore everyone above him,
Yeah.
essentially. So
That's how it works. And then I'd probably put just above him then. Oh god, this is gonna be hard. I'll put Sainz.
okay.
I
I put Oscar Piastri next.
see. I think if the McLaren performs even a little bit as well as it did last year, I think Oscar's going to be up there.
Yeah, it will just be seeing whether they start as strong as they ended last season. With how they started last season, I'm not overly confident.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll see. That's just why I had him a bit lower.
I would then put Oscar.
My 7th was George Russell. Just going off kind of similar to where he finished this year. And we'll get to it, but I think with it being Lewis's last year at Mercedes, they'll pretty much go all out for Lewis.
Yeah.
So
I kind of think the same, and also I really don't know how like the new car's going to perform. That's why I was a bit like about putting Sainz there, because I was going to put Russell, and I was like, I don't know. I'd probably put Russell next in 6th, potentially swapping out with Piastri.
And I put Carlos Sainz in 6th as well. Again, kind of going off, he got more out of the Ferrari last year than George got out of the Mercedes. So
yeah, I'm going to say Perez.
Okay.
Yeah, but I feel like if the RB20 doesn't perform as well as the RB19, then I feel like he's going to have less of a chance to keep up with Max at the same pace that he did last year anyway, because obviously he fell off a little bit towards the end. So
yeah, I agree with that, except I've gone Lando 5th, just because McLaren's the one kind of outlier that I can't really compare much to last year, just because of how badly they started and then how like good that they ended. So I have no clue like how that'll even out this season. So I went Lando 5th.
I probably put Lando 4th. I think he's going to have like a better season. Hopefully he can get a win. Like one win. One win.
Please. Even if it's a sprint.
Yeah, please. Anything. So I'd probably put him 4th for that. But I mean, I think I'm being very nice there.
And I put Perez 4th for pretty much the same reasons you did. I think the pack's going to be a lot closer together. And I think that'll leave room for other drivers to get ahead of him, essentially.
Yeah. Okay, where are we now? 3. Top 3.
Yeah, top 3.
I'm going to put Lewis as my 3rd. I think Lewis is going to get a 3rd. I don't trust that Mercedes is going to make a good car for this year.
And I've gone Charles Leclerc for 3rd, mainly because I don't think he is going to beat Lewis. I don't really have a reason for a 3rd other than that.
I would put Charles Leclerc as my 2nd. Because I think he's going to have a good year. I feel like the car maybe, or hopefully he can just get, even if he just got a few more calls last year or was a little bit less unlucky, he would have been higher in the start. Like, you know, I mean, obviously that sounds like such a stupid statement to make. That's like saying if he won, I sound like Will Buxton. If he has more wins, he'll be like higher in the standing. Oh my God, that's such a stupid statement to make. But you know what I mean? Like if things didn't go wrong for him, he would place higher, the same way that things didn't go wrong for Max, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So if he's just even a little bit luckier this year with those kind of things, I feel like he could pull off more wins, more podiums.
Yeah. I just don't have trust in Ferrari, unfortunately.
Yeah, no.
And yeah, so I went Lewis 2nd, obviously. Mainly because I just think with it being his last year at Mercedes and knowing that Charles is going to be his teammate, I don't think he would let Charles beat him, essentially.
That's true.
We will see.
And then obviously, elephant in the room. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
I feel like Max is going to get his 4th World Drivers' Championship.
Yeah.
I just think it's inevitable. I think even if the RB20 is even a fraction as good as the RB19, which we know it's going to be good. There's no way he's not going to bring it home.
Yeah, 100%. I just, like you say, even if the car just isn't even that good, he would still make it work. So yeah, Max first, and look forward to the battle for the rest of the grid.
Yeah, I just hope the rest of the grid is like, interesting as well, because it's just, I feel like I said, it's inevitable with Max winning. I mean, we'll see. That's the most exciting thing about it. But I mean, I feel like everybody, like all of the teams are already saying that. Like all of the teams are like, oh, it's more of a battle for second in the constructors, blah, blah, blah. So,
yeah,
and it is what it is. It's another dominance era. And I mean,
they come in waves.
They do come in waves, I would love for them to put Max in an F2 car. Stick him in like the Premier F2 car. See how he does.
They should make him race all the races in an F2 car.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, stick him in an F2 car versus everybody else in an F1 car. We'll see how it goes. Stick him in like
that'll be the true challenge.
The true challenge. Stick him in like a F4 car. He'd find a way.
Lapping the rest of the field.
Nothing but respect for how well he drives, but at the same time, like,
yeah,
I just wish it wasn't inevitable.
I think it comes in like there's about 2 years where you're like, who's gonna win, and then there's just domination for about 6 years, and then it just repeats.
Yeah, I am interested to see like if it's any, oh my gosh, like how ridiculous it was when you look back how far ahead the RB19 was to everything else. I'm really interested to see if it's that level again this year. Because even if it was just a little bit closer, then it would be more interesting.
Yeah, I think this year's going to be a lot closer.
Yeah,
it's like how much better can it get? Do you know what I mean? How much better can the RB20 get compared to when it basically came out in 2022, like the RB18 with the new regs and stuff? That was like like Red Bull have just got it perfect and nobody else has.
Yeah.
And they're still kind of riding that wave at the minute where like they got it perfect back then, so they're so much far ahead of everyone else. But
yeah,
I think now it'll get closer and closer the next 2 years, and then don't know about 2026. We'll have to see.
We'll have to see. That's the beauty of it. It is exciting. Do you have any like out of pocket things that you think are going to happen?
I just have a feeling that Liam Lawson is going to race somehow.
Ooh.
Like,
I feel the same way.
Someone's ill, or like, I don't know. I just don't think he's going to go the whole year without racing.
I feel like there's going to be something. I feel like there might be. Oh my god! I'm just gonna make some off the toe predictions. I feel like there's going to be a race in which 2 drivers can't race for some reason. There's going to be like some paddock illness or whatever. There's going to be 2 drivers, and I think
the paddock rumor. It's the paddock virus.
The paddock virus. I think there's going to be a virus that hits the paddock. I think at least 2 drivers are going to miss the race, and I think there's going to be 2 people filling in, and it's going to be like, because it's a season where we have no rookies, and I think we're going to have 2 rookies step in, and I think it's going to be like, I think it's going to be like a shocking weekend. I'd love for it to be like Monza or something again.
Well, I mean, when we went to Zandvoort, that was when Liam stepped in, so maybe we'll have to go to another race.
Yeah, we'll just have to. We just have to. We're generating the drama for you guys. We were like, we get to see Danny Rick race. And then, no, we get to see Danny Rick crash and break his wrist.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, we technically got to see 21 drivers that weekend, because it started off with Danny Rick and then went to Liam. So
yeah, we did actually see 21 drivers. We saw Liam Lawson overtake Charles Leclerc as he struggled with his Ferrari.
That was so good.
It was
so good.
It was the fact that everyone was cheering.
Everyone was like, come on. Literally, everyone screamed when he overtook
and it was
Charles.
right on our corner. It was literally right on that corner
Literally.
in like the rain. It might have even been like, no, it wasn't
Mhm.
under a flag, obviously, but like literally it was, we're going like so slowly, and we're like, yeah. And I was like, why am I cheering? I don't even like. I was like, I like Charles. I don't want him to do badly. It's just the drama. The drama of it all.
It's all the drama. I just love it.
Such a DTS fan, clearly. Also, have you seen that like the trailers come out for the season 6 of Drive to Survive? And I haven't actually watched the trailer, but people have been saying that Max and Oscar aren't in it. And they're like, if like in the trailer, so if Max isn't in the actual series, who's gonna win 19 out of 23 races?
It would be like, I mean, no offense to anyone who actually likes Drive to Survive, but it's just like when you watch it and they follow like one driver the whole weekend, and you're like, oh, cool, like, how are they gonna do? And then at the end they're like, and they finished 9th.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's kind of like, okay,
I feel like that's
like, I feel like it's gonna be loads of episodes like
Yeah.
that, you know?
they're
we
gonna
all
have to go through
know.
that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I know. Because I literally, obviously, like I've been saying every week, I've been trying to watch Drive to Survive from the beginning because I've never seen it, and I'm still on season 2 because every time. Well, first of all, I've been bloody busy, guys. I've been busy, but by the time I go to sit down to watch it, I'm like, oh, but I want to know everything else that happens, not just about Haas that weekend, and not just about
Yeah.
Ocon that weekend. Like, yeah, and then it bothers me, and I end up sitting there like googling a bunch of other stuff that went on that weekend, and I don't enjoy it as much. I feel like I might enjoy watching season 6 just because obviously I already know what happened, so it's going to be less like watching the 2018 season and being like, but who actually won that weekend? You know, I'll be like, well, I know who won that weekend, Max.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I might give it a bit of a watch because I'd be interested to see kind of what narratives they spin if they're not going to talk about Max literally winning every race apart from 3. So I do kind of want to see that. But it's funny because I am to NASCAR what a DTS fan is to F1 now.
Have you
where
been
like
watching the
I'm
NASCAR
learning
documentary?
Yeah, it's really good. It's actually so good. It's one of those where like I know nothing about NASCAR, so unfortunately I have to learn it through the narrative that Netflix is spinning for me. So but it's cool, and if I decide to watch NASCAR, I mean in the future I'll try and actually learn about NASCAR rather than just going off the documentary. But no, it is really good, and it's one of those where like because it's car racing, so it's like easy to kind of like pick up, because if you like F1 then you like car racing if you didn't already know. So it's it's pretty easy to kind of get straight into it. But definitely recommend if you're particularly if you're European, because NASCAR is just not a thing here in the same way that F1 just isn't a thing in America as well, really. So
that's good. I should watch it because I watched a Shell video earlier where it was like talking around the table or something, and it was on the YouTube where it was Carlos and Charles with one of the NASCAR drivers. I've forgotten his name. I'm sorry, immediately forgotten his name. But it was interesting them obviously comparing about the differences in the races and how like he's like, oh, NASCAR was like it's like 3.5 hours, and Charles was like, oh my god, like turning left for 3.5 hours is crazy. And he was saying about how it's like 3 wide in a pack, so you're constantly with a pack, and you have a spotter who's telling you like where people are. And it was interesting. I don't think I'm gonna get into NASCAR simply because I honestly think them driving so close together for that length of time would stress me out, because that's like the most stressful part of F1.
See, but that's what F1 is like missing at the moment, because like
being close
we've
together.
been in this period of time where the cars aren't close to each other, whereas like they should be close to each other. I think that was like kind of the best part about watching the documentary, was like there's like I don't even know, like 30 cars or like
40,
36.
There's 40.
Yeah, so there's like loads of them, and they are all like bumper to bumper while driving.
That's insane. That was like,
and like
Oh, it's ridiculous. When we saw the Porsche Super Cup in Zandvoort,
Mm-hmm.
and I could not get over how they were driving like centimeters apart, bumper to bumper.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do they know how much distance in their car? Like when I parallel park my car, I think that I know my car fairly well because I don't have beepers on my car. And then I'll get out and be like, oh wow, there was like a foot behind me that I could have used. And I've been driving the same car for like 10 years. And yeah, I don't understand how they do it.
Mm. Also, the accidents are just crazy in that sport.
I
Like,
don't think I'd want to
the
see.
car was like spinning up in the air, like spin, 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 and then like landed like on like the top of the car kind of thing, like upside down. And it's the same way in F1 where you're like, how do they survive that? And they literally just get out the car and they're like, all good.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
I'm good. But yeah, like the whole, like you say about the spotters and stuff, because like I've forgotten the people's names in it already, but they show this scene in like the first episode where like the guy who's like fighting to like win the championship or whatever, he's like quite far back, like 15th or whatever, and he's just like, I'm gonna pull back because I feel like an accident's gonna happen. So he literally just like brakes and he like goes to the back of the field, and then ahead of him just like all of these cars start like literally banging into each other, blah, 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 and then they all just like get obviously eliminated from the race, and he ends up just like being first. And it's like it's like it's a sport where you've got to be able to tell whether like cars are going to crash ahead of you and stuff like that.
Wow.
Like,
what if they're
crazy.
like fighting too hard, or if they're
yeah, like
that would
I
be me.
don't know.
I would
Yeah.
pull that every race though. I would every race pull like, oh well, I'm just gonna stay at the back just in case people crash. And then like every now and then it'd work.
Like once.
It's like that speed skater in the junior, I think it was Junior Olympics or Junior Europeans, whatever.
Oh my gosh, I loved that.
Yeah, where she went a whole lap ahead.
Where she
of the
lapped
field.
everyone.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
everybody thought it was the final lap, and it wasn't because she just already crossed the line, and she just won like
Yeah.
not effortlessly, but like yeah, crazy. And that's just do that with NASCAR. Just put your foot down. That's what Max does. Laps the field and then just pits for fun.
Yeah.
We haven't actually done our constructors.
You can pretty much tell.
Yeah.
Based on our driver.
Based on driver
ranks.
ranking.
But
Number one.
shall I just go quickly?
Yeah, we could just do top three.
I've kind of reversed mine in top three, so I went Mercedes third, then Ferrari and Red Bull.
Yeah.
Just because I, without stating the obvious, think Carlos is going to outscore George, and then I think Charles might be close to Lewis, essentially. So
I would probably put the same order, but more. I would say obviously Charles scoring the majority of the points for Ferrari, and then Lewis scoring the majority of the points for Red Bull. Oh. Lewis to Red Bull confirmed.
slip of the tongue.
Freudian slip.
What do they call it? Freudian slip.
if it wasn't already confirmed Lewis to Ferrari, I'd be like
Freudian slip.
insider info, like Lewis to Red Bull. No, so I think that Lewis obviously will score the majority of the points for Mercedes because of where I put him in the driver's standing as well, but I don't think he's going to score as much as Charles. So there we are. Nice, straightforward.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy, guys.
I think Lance Stroll is going to leave after this season. I think he's going to go and pursue another passion. I think he's going to get really fed up of racing. I think he might get injured at some point.
I
and
just
not come
don't know. Okay, but if we remember last year, he was injured 12 days before the first race of the season.
Yeah, and he drove with like broken wrists. Like, I'm not questioning
Yeah.
his dedication. I think he's like, obviously he loves the sport, whatever. But I think he might be sick of the narrative that people are spinning that he doesn't love the sport, and I think it might get to him.
I get that. I also feel like his 2 billion net worth might make up for it.
Just a little.
Not that money like buys happiness or anything. I just think he's probably at that level where realistically he doesn't really care what people think about him because his dad literally owns the team that he drives for.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I don't think Lawrence will get rid of him, like you say. I think if he leaves, it'll be like a I don't want to do this anymore type thing.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I mean. Like, it's not going to be like he's kicked out. I feel like he might like maybe get injured and then be like, I don't want to do the whole comeback again.
He'll be like Jackson in Sex Education, where he like puts his hand under the weight so he breaks his hand and can't
I've
do
never seen
swimming
it.
anymore.
I've never seen it, but that reminds me
Niche
of like
reference for everyone.
that reminds me of me when you're like on the way to exams in uni and you're like just walking into the road like, well, if I get hit by a car, I won't have to do my exams. That's horrible. I hope nobody ever feels like that.
Yeah, if you feel like that, please get
help.
maybe,
That is why I dropped out of uni initially. So
yeah,
is for thoughts
that is
like
not
that.
a normal feeling to have, guys.
No. Seek some help, and then maybe you can go back to uni. So that's
Yeah.
that's my advice on that one. I think Oscar's gonna have a race win before Lando. I do think that Oscar is like primed for a race win, and I think it's going to come at the heartbreak of a lot of Lando fans.
And before the men come at us and say he's already won a race, we mean a Grand Prix win.
A Grand Prix win, not a sprint race win.
I don't have any cool predictions this year because nothing interesting has really happened.
No. Obviously, we talked about Throttled on our F1 book club. And since we talked about Throttled, I then have seen a tweet on my timeline yesterday. Book Talk Brain Rot has got into F1. I'm officially going into hiding. And it's not about Throttled. It's about a book called Bloodstream. But the funniest thing is let me read the title. Let me read like the top of the book, what it says at the top of the book. I haven't read it yet, so this is going to be a blind react. He's a world champion. She's the new girl on the grid. Will their sizzling chemistry throw him off track?
She's your name. She's your name.
She is your name. And surprise, surprise, she's a blonde white girl in the cover picture. Like, come on, let's get inventive.
Surprise, surprise.
Let's get inventive, guys. But it is a book that obviously is in the works. Oh my gosh. Run down to the works to get it, guys. But the funniest thing is someone said, why is he casually in his race suit in the mountains? And the cover picture, he's like he's like in what's clearly a Ferrari race suit, because even with the black bits on the shoulders, and then just sitting on the hood of a car in the mountains.
It's time to announce our next book for the book club.
Oh my god, please. I genuinely should we do it? Should we go to the works and buy
let's go.
Let's do it.
We'll do a like coffee and reading date, and we'll go to the works, get the book.
Yes. Oh my god, we're gonna go to the works, which, if you guys don't listen from the UK, is like a craft store. Like
Stationery. They went viral maybe like 3 or 4 months ago because this Canadian came to the UK and was like, all the books in the UK are so cheap, and she just bought loads of books from the works, and we were like, no honey, that's not a real bookshop. I'm sorry.
It's all the bad books or all the kids' books. It's where my mum buys all my niece's stickers from. Is the works. So we will go to the works, we'll go to a coffee shop, and we'll have a little coffee and read date, and we'll probably skim read, because let's be real, I am not putting myself through Throttled again.
After Throttled and literally the mental trauma that I went through is not happening again.
So, and then we'll review it. So if you guys want to read Bloodstream by Emily Carter, you're welcome, Emily Carter. We'll give you some more sales of your book, because despite what people were saying about how much we were slating Lauren Asher for Throttled, we got her book sales. Because best believe our viral TikTok convinced many people that they should read it, even if it's bad. So you're welcome.
You are welcome.
Bloodstream. For God's sake.
I don't like that
I don't like the name.
It's one of those where I'm like, it's not a supernatural book, so why is there like blood in the name? Do you know what I mean?
Why is it called Bloodstream? What does it have to do with cars? Why are they sitting on the hood of a car in a mountain?
They're like slipstream, but they're in love. So that she's in his bloodstream.
I hate it. I hate it. We haven't even read it yet. Oh my gosh. I guess another thing I will mention is how the SF24 took to the track today, and People are so excited because the car is oversteery. Like, it's got a little bit of a like snap. Like when it went round the corner, it like the end went loose in the middle of the corner, and they were like, Charles is gonna eat this up. So everyone's very excited.
Eat it up, Charles.
Eat it up, Charles. Get it. Get it.
Is all I have to say about that.
And that is all I have to say about that. I mean, I feel like it's come to the point now in pre-season. I don't know. I'm just waiting. To be honest, I'm literally just like sitting here waiting for the season to start. I feel like I've run out of words to say because we have been talking the entire winter break, and I just kind of want to let the cars do the talking. Let there be room. That was shit.
Did you just quote the fucking Bible?
Is that? Oh, it's from the Bible.
And God said, "Let there be light." Anna is God in this universe.
But I say, let there be cars.
Room.
Let them drive. I was quoting it as if it was like, let them eat. Well, let them...
Like it's fucking Ice Spice or something, you know? Like
let them eat cake, isn't it Marie Antoinette? From like 1800s France? Ice Spice!
It sounds like a fucking Ice Spice lyric. Let them eat. Full stop.
Well, yeah, let them eat. Let them drive. I don't even...
Let them slay.
Let them slay. Get my boy Charles a hairbrush. Oh my god.
Well, and on that note.
I would like to give a little shout out to Bella, who sent us her dissertation about women in F1 and like the barriers into F1. I'd love to do like a segment on that in the future about the barriers for women entering F1, but I just want to give a shout out and say thank you for sending that. I did read through it, and yeah, I thought it was really interesting. I'd like to talk about it more in depth in the future, but it was just interesting to read about how sponsorship is one of the biggest physical barriers for women getting into motorsports. And it's cool to see how that's changing a little bit with people like Bianca Bustamante getting sponsorships by like Anastasia Beverly Hills and stuff. Yeah, they can see the value in like predominantly feminine brands can see the value in getting into something in like a predominantly masculine space of motorsport. Yeah, I'd like to talk about that more in the future, but I thought I'd just mention it as a shout out. Thank you for sending that through.
Thank you.
And I just realised we completely forgot to ask you guys what you wanted to hear this week, but you know what? You wanted to hear whatever we told you. So I mean, if you want to hear us talk some more, then you can find us on TikTok at CarChatsF1, on Instagram and Threads, and you can find us on patreon.com, patreon.com/CarChatsF1. I always forget which way around we do this. Oh my god, how have we not got this down yet?
It's just you. Usually we're fine. Today you just stop after every sentence.
I'm like that influencer who, like, she was saying about how she only speaks in short sentences now, like in the real world, because she's so used to like only saying things in short sentences so she can cut it. And she was saying about how like she's like quitting being a full-time influencer because she's like, oh my god, I didn't realize how much it like fucked up me like as a person until I realized I was speaking in short sentences and not elaborating on my thoughts. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, that is bad. Oh. Good thing we like to yap.
Good thing we like to yip, yap, 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 yap. You can find me on TikTok at AnnaXF1, on Instagram at Anabominable, and Twitter at AnnaryXF1.
And I'm AmyXF1 on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter.
Woo, love a consistent handle.
Woo. Thank you to our Patreonites, Amber,
Jose,
Kelsey,
and Taylor.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for supporting the pod. If you guys want to support the pod, you can go to patreon.com/carchatsf1, and you can get early release episodes, bonus content, even though we've been very, very busy recently. Maybe one day we'll be able to tell you why. And yeah, the elusiveness. But thank you for listening to this jumble of an episode this week.
Thank you.
We just can't wait for cars to go vroom again. Let there be cars.
Let there be vroom.
Put that on a t-shirt. But thank you guys. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.